So in the morning, all the flowers on the bush are pink. The whole thing's a pink circle all the way around. There's a purple flower that in the afternoon goes over the arch and goes to the building that's got 3 het symbols on it, like the crosses of Calvary, like a house with the Lord's name on it. Het, het, het is 888, and 888 means Jesus' salvation. So, fascinating. And now this is going to be the entranceway into the circle. I will go before you into the heathen circle. Let's talk about just how strange this is, but I also want to remind everybody before I share this with you, there's been a lot of things that I've publicly declared that the Lord told me I want you to do before I did them. I say, well, this is what I heard the Lord tell me he wants me to do. Go to Chinati was one of them. And he walked me into an art gallery to confirm it. Does anyone remember that? All these miracles. When I went to Chinati, he gave me 2 halves of the same rock in a riverbed, dried out riverbed, out of trillions of rocks. He gave me 2 halves of the same rock, and I'm the guy telling the world what being on the rock is. Like, I'm the messenger that says you need to be on the rock. And he sends me to the desert with my parachute to skydive into the desert. He provides a plane where there was no plane. For those of y'all that know the testimonies, they're just mind-boggling. So before I throw this out, just want to remind people of the things that had happened previously to show, well, was Jonathan Kleck actually hearing from the Lord? Well, let me ask you a question. Is the Vatican a snake? It's a yes or no, because I told everybody, and I put Dave the Wave on the phone, on a video. The way it happened, I was looking at Google Earth at St. Peter's Square, and I saw the whole thing was a big black keyhole with an upside down cross, the Vatican and St. Peter's Basilica. And I was like, oh my God, the whole thing's a locked door. It's a keyhole with a locked upside down cross. And I heard the Lord tell me, Jonathan, come in at a 45-degree angle. I want to show you something. So that's my testimony, what the Lord told me to do. The Bible says, my sheep hear my voice. The night I got saved, Michael told me, learn to trust that voice. You hear now, that's Michael's, that's God speaking to you. So Michael is telling me, learn to trust that voice. That's God speaking to you. So I've documented over and over again, and I've presented it on YouTube for scrutiny, like this is what happened. So just like the Vatican, when I was on Google Earth and the Lord said, come in at a 45-degree angle to the bottom of the cross, and the whole thing turned into a serpent wearing a crown. That's the reason the world gets to see that the Vatican is a serpent wearing a crown, because the Lord God whom I serve showed it to me. He communicated so clearly to me what to do so I would be able to see it and share it with you. Okay, is it a snake? Yes or no? Is the Vatican a snake? Okay, yes or no? Is the mouth of the serpent inside the building, is it a dead sheep? Yes or no? The answer is yes. Is a sheep made up of a bunch of angels? Yes or no? Yes. So the serpent is eating angels. Is the throne male and female reproductive systems? Yes or no? Yes, it is. Now, the only one that could have shown me that was the Lord, because he told me to go inside the building and find that window. After he showed me the Vatican was a snake, he told me you need to find the window inside the building. I want to show you something. So I called Dave the Wave. Dave, help me find this window inside the Vatican. Dave came back with a virtual tour of the Vatican. Dave came back with more than I could have hoped for. And I could just drop in through the ceiling right in front of the altar. The whole damn thing's a big dead sheep made up of a bunch of angels. It turns into the male and female reproductive system, which is Genesis 1:27. In the image of Elohim created he him, male and female created he them. There's male and female reproductive systems on a big dead sheep. Obviously, I'm hearing from the Lord. End of story. So here's the point. This is a gift that was given to me by Ryan. Now, when Ryan gave it to me, he said, hey, I have a gift. He didn't say, hey, I have a gift for you. He said, hey, I have something I believe the Lord told me to do. And so then he showed me this cross with this ivy going up it on his phone. And he said, this is what it is. I go, well, that's cool. If you believe that's what the Lord told you to do, then you should do it. And I didn't question him and say, oh, I don't believe you. I just said, because I know the Lord tells me what to do. So Ryan took a step of faith and planted this ivy. And he's got a cross. And it's in this bucket. And after I told him, well, that's cool. I'm glad you're being obedient. And then he kind of squeamishly looked at me and said, yeah, it's for you. And I was like, oh, well, thank you very much. I think I have a place for it. And I thought maybe it'd go at the end of the walkway here, but I had no idea how big this cross is. That cross goes all the way up to the top of the house. See how big it is? Now, nobody had really put that in your yard. Most people that are believers, I don't think would put that in their yard, but a lot of people that aren't believers would put that in their yard to make them look like believers, if you know what I mean. So anyway, when it was brought over and I saw how massive it was, I was like, wow. Well, yeah, I'm not going to stick that out in the front of my yard, probably. So I went inside and I prayed about it. I said, Lord, what do you want me to do with this? Like, are you giving this to Ryan to give to me because you want me to put it in my front yard? Because if you want me to put it in my front yard, I'll find a place for it. I'm not ashamed of the cross of Christ at all, but it's kind of just a little inappropriate. And I'm honest enough to talk to the Lord about that. So anyway, I said, but if you want me to put that up, I'll be glad to put it in the front yard. And I heard the Lord say, I'll show you. And so, as he's done many times, he supernaturally had me just open a book and it said, uproot. And I'm like, uproot? That doesn't you want me to uproot what? The ivy? Uproot it. And I was like, okay, that's going to hurt Ryan's feelings. And then I heard the Lord say, now look. And I'm like, looked again and it says, and transplant, plant again. And I'm like, you want me to uproot the ivy and plant again? Well, let me show you something. The ivy is wrapped around the cross, right? You see this ivy wrapped around this cross? I want you to uproot and plant it again. And I was like, I'm a little bit confused. What do you want me to do with it exactly? Where do you want me to plant it? And in my spirit, I heard that the system is coming to an end. And then I heard, you're no different than Jeremiah. You're no different than the other prophets. I show them and I ask them, what do you see? Just like Jeremiah, what do you see? I see a boiling pot, Lord. So Jeremiah said, Lord, I see a boiling pot. And the Lord used the pot to tell Jeremiah, there's going to be a group of people so violent and so evil that will boil over from the north. I don't know if y'all know what the north means in the Bible. It means from the darkness and obscurity. Like, I will give you the treasures of darkness. The north means darkness and gloominess, obscurity. And he tells Jeremiah, you've seen a boiling pot. You've seen well, Jeremiah. Because an enemy so violent will boil up over the pot and invade. And he used a pot to communicate to Jeremiah. He used an almond branch. All through the Bible, he uses what prophets see to communicate. And he's done that with me the entire time I've been working for the Lord. So now, when I heard him say uproot and replant, and I heard him say, you're no different than Jeremiah, what do you see, Jonathan? And I looked at this whole thing and I said, I see a big fountain that looks like an eye and it's pink. Yes, represents her. And the cycle, the whole thing's like a circle. And it's pink flowers on top of the whole bush. There's a purple flower that's totally different. That's a transplant that grew over the wedding arch. And it latched on to these plants. and they all bloomed identical flowers. And the flowers match hollow rocks that he told me to go buy. Go buy 2 hollow rocks. With Corey, I'm like, hollow rocks? What does that have? Well, the hollow rock represents the natural body formed by her. And when I cracked open this geode, it was pink. And it's the same as the flowers. So it's a pink geode on the inside, like the flowers, a hollow rock representing the natural man. The other geode was purple on the inside right here, and sitting on top of this part of a geode with purple rings. And I had no idea what colored flowers these plants would be that he told me to put in the ground here. He specifically told me plant these 3 plants here. And within 8 hours, this plant opens up and has the same color flowers as the other geodes. So one geode's got pink, like the pink flowers representing her, starting the host body system, the natural man, parthenogenesis. And the other rock represents him coming into the system and leaving the system and joining together what's identical on a house that has 3 head symbols representing Jesus' salvation. So this house literally has his name on it in the orientation of the crosses at Calvary. That's what I see. He told me to transplant it over here, and I was like, you want me to transplant it in front of the fountain, going into the fountain? Yes. So to be able to say these things to you or to anybody out in the world with confidence and know this is what the Lord told me to do, I was like, well, you want me to put another arch there? That's strange. Yes. I was confused about it. I was very confused. That's what you want me to do? Yes. Oddly enough, after I did what he said, Zach came home from his physical training in the morning, and he said, hey, you want to see something weird? And he showed me an arch of plants going over the walkway, literally exactly an arch going over the walkway that the bamboo had made when he was walking that same day. Confirming that, yes, you heard me correctly, Jonathan. I want you to put another arch. Now, the plant that's going to go in the ground is a jasmine, 5-pointed star flower, and jasmine means gift from God. The part of the uprooting, literally after I'd showed the word uproot, that the Lord told me to open that book, and I'll show you, it said uproot. And then he showed me and transplant. After he showed me that by opening a book, again, which he's done many times in the presence of witnesses like Corey, a perfect communication. After that, he told me Jeremiah. Well, I was working on Jeremiah 30, oddly enough, and I called Kat up while I was driving. I said, Kat, can you pull out Jeremiah 30? And I was working on it. I was screenshotting it. It was in the folder before that started, before the thing with Ryan started. And then Kat was reading it to me, but I had to get off the phone, so I got home. And then I went in and I opened up my computer, and I opened up the book of Jeremiah, and the Lord told me, read Jeremiah 1. And it says, I'm going to uproot you and plant you in your own land. That's weird. That's exactly what he told me, and I showed Zach and Corey. I'm like, look at what he's telling me. Uproot that plant. But what does it mean, uproot the plant? You see that cross? That cross stands for us, for you, for me. The 5-pointed flower on it, on the jasmine, it represents a 5-pointed star, like the angels from heaven. The 5-pointed star got inverted, turned into the church of Satan, which is the host body system that Satan occupies. And now we've been redeemed. And so he's going to uproot us and take us back to where we belong. That's the message. I 100% believe this with 100 belief minus 1%, because there's always some kind of doubt. And I never know until I do it, but he's already confirmed it. When Zach walked up to me and said, hey, you want to see something weird? And he showed me the arch that he encountered on his trail walking in the morning when I was questioning whether or not I was supposed to put this arch here. I'm like, you want me to put this arch here? There's already an arch over there. And I heard the Lord say, I use circumstances to bring about what I need. And I said, okay, I understand that, because the shipping containers, those were all circumstances. And I got to see the glory of God and the miracles associated with them. I got to see the miracles associated with Grand Junction, and a table that turned into a rainbow prayer of the Lord's Prayer ended up on Rainbow Avenue in Casimir. So all those things happened. Every single one of them happened. So they've been documented. So if they've been documented, you can go back and look at them. So there's a record of them now. And there's a record of them and stepping out and telling you about them before it happened. So that's the way you know. So anyway, I'm going to follow through, and I'm going to uproot the jasmine, which represents us, because those of us that have been converted, we're up right now, not like an upside down cross, like a right side up cross. The 5-pointed star on the jasmine represents God's angels. And I'm going to put it right here in the ground with this and do what the Lord said, because I know what it represents. Just like Jeremiah knew what the pot represented. That's the way it works. All right, guys. Peace and grace. So I got to document what happened. This is so crazy that I have to document it. So Ryan, a friend of mine from the Ark, he was a big help at the Ark. Ryan put a couple trailers there for people to live in. Anyway, after the Ark shut down, Ryan came to San Antonio, and he's been, around, but he's doing his thing. And anyway, we see each other occasionally. And the garden behind me is finished. So this whole thing the Lord told me to do, I did what he said. The hoopah has grown over. I'm gonna come out in the morning and do a clip to show you this whole bush turns pink in the morning. But as soon as the flowers close on the bush, these purple flowers open up over here on the hoopah and on the wall. You can see them. These royal purple flowers open up, and the ones that are royal purple only open up in the afternoon. The pink ones, like you can see these little fuzzy balls, they're all over this bush, and they open up in the morning, and then they close up by 10 a.m. And then at that time, all these open up over the hoopah, but they're like this. They're this royal purple. So it goes from pink, and then purple starts going over the top here, and then purple's all on the walls. And don't forget, this house literally has 3 het symbols on it. There's one of them, het symbol, and another het symbol right here, and one over there in the same orientation as the crosses of Calvary. So anyway, it's 3 het symbols in Jewish gematria is 888. 888 means Jesus' salvation. So a house literally with Jesus' salvation written on it in Hebrew gematria. What's fascinating is all the other supernatural things that are going on right now. So I did everything the Lord told me to do. I put the 2 wedding rings right there on that. I went and got these 2 rocks. He told me to go get 2 hollow rocks. He told me to open them in front of witnesses. I opened one and it was pink. So the inside of it is pink. And I opened the other one and it's black and it's purple. It's over there. The 2 hollow rocks I opened literally match the pink flowers on this, and then the purple one matched exactly the purple flowers on the other thing. It's like my head spinning. He told me to get 2 fig trees. Here's one fig tree. There's another fig tree. He told me to put one in a blue pot, one in a red pot. I was like, that is so wild. I did what he said. He told me, look at the name of the fig tree. I wasn't really paying attention when I picked him out. There's just all these fig trees. The name of this fig tree is Celeste, which means celestial, and the other one is Alma, which means soul, celestial soul. The name of the fig trees. All the flowers are called passion flowers. Every part of it represents Christ. Go read about the passion flower. It is crazy what's going on in this little garden right here. And this happened right after Eden came to town. A young lady who's a daughter of a friend of mine, and she was having some demonic attacks, and she came to San Antonio, and the Lord told me to take her down to the alley where I got saved and pray with her, and I did. And as soon as we finished the Our Father prayer, I looked over and I could see her countenance change, and she looked over and went, thank you, and I could see the difference. And at the end of the alley where you walk out on a big stained glass window was the Garden of Eden, and I'm standing in the alley with Eden. And on the stained glass window is Jesus ascending into heaven and Adam down in the garden from beginning to end. Okay, get ready. Well, if that wasn't enough, how just totally wild. So you see this big cross right here? It's in a bucket and it's got this ivy on it. Well, the other day, Ryan showed it to me on a picture. We saw him somewhere for lunch, I think. And he said, yeah, Johnny, the Lord kind of showed me, he wanted me to do this. And he showed me a picture of it, and I go, well, that's cool. And he said, yeah, I'm supposed to give it to you. And I was like, that's a lot of cross to put in your front yard. I was like, well, that's very kind. Thank you very much. So I tried to graciously accept the gift. And he brought it over the other day because he happened to have a truck that someone was using, a friend of ours. And he threw it in the U-Haul, he brought it over. And I'm like, Lord, what am I supposed to do with this? Did you want me to put it out front somewhere? Or what do you want me to do? I mean, if you want me to put a big white cross in front of my house, I will, but it doesn't sound right to me. And I heard in my spirit, this is like Jeremiah, Jonathan, I show you things because I want you to see them and say what you see. And I'm like, okay, well, just like this whole garden, what do you see? I'll get into that in a minute. But I was like, I don't understand. And I said, Lord, what do you want me to do with what he gave me? It's a really big cross. It's as high as the roof. And it's in a very heavy bucket. And I heard the Lord say, I'll answer you. Just open that book right there. And I opened it up and it said to uproot, dig up by the roots. And I went, you want me to dig up the ivy by the roots? And it's jasmine ivy, by the way. And jasmine ivy is a 5-pointed star flower, you know, like one of God's angels, 5-pointed star. And the word jasmine means gift from God. And I said, you want me to dig up the ivy, the plant that he gave me with the cross? And I heard the Lord say, yes, I want you to dig it up. And I go, what am I supposed to do? And then I looked over and it said, transplant, plant somewhere else. And I'm like, plant somewhere else? Like where? I'll show you. So you see this arch right here? I was like, you want me to put an arch right here? There's already an arch over there. Remember the shipping containers? I heard the Lord say, I'll create a situation to get the response I need so you'll understand. And I'm like, okay. So I put the arch there like he tells me to. I get a couple extra jasmine ivies to go with the one I'm going to dig up that's in Ryan's pot and try and be obedient. And I'm just going, did I do the right thing? Did I get the arch? And you know what? Zach came over to me. I'd already told Zach and Corey what the Lord had told me to do, to dig it up and transplant it. And Zach and Corey, they go do their PT, their physical training, like in the mornings. And Zach sometimes will go at the same time as Corey, sometimes different times, just depends. Anyway, so Zach went on his own physical training thing this morning later than Corey. Corey went very early in the morning. And Zach came back and he goes, hey, it was like just a little while ago. He goes, hey, you want to see something really interesting? And he literally showed me an arch. It's going to be, you'll see it. I'll have him edited in right now. Did you see that arch? I mean, to confirm, yes, that's what I wanted you to do. Zach shows me that arch of a plant that's arched over the whole walkway he was on. I showed it to Corey, and Corey goes, I walked right past there this morning. That wasn't, you know, one bush was kind of hanging, and Corey goes, I'll snap them off if they get in the way because it's bamboo. And he goes, but that other big one, that had to have come over after I walked past. So did I do the right thing? Well, he told me put an arch there. Within a couple hours, after doing what he told me to do, Zach showing me an arch on his walkway. I mean, whoever shows you, oh, check out this arch, these plants, man. I'm like, did I do what you want? You want another arch? And now he's showing me what it all means. I'm going, and he said, go to Jeremiah. And he took me to Jeremiah 1. And when I went to Jeremiah 1, it said, I will uproot you. I'm like, what? That's exactly what it said. That's exactly what it said when you had me open that book. It said, dig up, uproot by the roots. I told Corey and Zach, I'm like, how weird. The Lord would tell me to dig up Ryan's, you know, jasmine ivy on the cross by the roots. Dig it up and transplant it. Uproot. And Jeremiah 1 says, I will uproot you, and, you know, you'll do this, and I'll have you do this, and then I will plant you in your own land. And that's what he told me, to uproot and transplant. I think it's here, guys. I don't know what to say, except everything he's shown me it's too woven in too perfectly. Anyway, wild.